Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach here. So today I am going to finally install the new trunk, the LCI trunk on the E90. What happened was I've actually removed it a few times. Problem was that I had some issue back then with tail lights. I ordered one, but the seller actually claimed it's LCI, but it wasn't LCI, and I had to go out and source again for LCI tail lights. Thankfully, I went to Red Zone and they had them in stock, and it was full red. It wasn't smoke or anything. I didn't really want the smoke one because the smoke that they had was a bit too dark, like too smoke. And I do not want that. I want something that it's smoke but it's not too dark, because still it's a very dangerous situation when it's too dark here, guys. It's a safety thing. Tail lights are very important when it comes to safety, and I wanted to make sure that it's not too dark where people can't really see if I'm braking and stuff like that, or see my car. As you guys know, the car is black color. I'm making almost everything black, so I want to make sure that the light still stands out and people will notice that, you know, oh, there's a car there. And I might do a light tint on it, nothing too bad, you know, nothing too dark, that way that, you know, it looks smoke but the visibility of the light is still there, like it's still bright. And well, this tail light comes with a bar LED and it's really bright, so I was thinking a light smoke tint wouldn't really affect the clarity and the luminescence from the tail light, so that should be good enough. Also, I received few connectors. These are waterproof connectors. I bought a bunch of them, a lot actually. They're really cheap though, to be honest. It costs less than ringgit for one piece, you know, and I bought hundreds of it and it didn't even cost 100 ringgit. So definitely worth it, because I'm going to be doing a lot of rewiring and everything, so I wanted to make sure that I get these proper connectors. These are waterproof connectors that will actually seal and make sure no dirt or rust or, you know, water gets in, and it will always try to preserve the connection to the car. So all good. Anyways guys, I'm gonna head down and start doing the install, and I'll do a time lapse with a voiceover, so it'll be much more easier for you guys to really understand what I'm gonna do, and I'll see you guys then. Hey guys, alright, so before I get started, I just want to show you guys the new headlights that I got. Look how pretty it is. So let's open it up. I really like the design. I just really wish this part was black instead of silver. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't really like chrome stuff on a car. I mean, I like on certain area, like, you know, if the, like for the Audi logo, right? Yeah, on silver, yeah, it looks really nice. I hate unwrapping this one, to be honest. And voila, look at it. It comes with a EVA foam at the back as well. I think this is to make sure that everything inside here is sealed from the outside. Made in Taiwan. It's by Reliable Auto Parts. Not bad. Comes with, I think this is the LED balas or something, or CAN bus system, I don't know, to be honest. Connector seems okay, seems good. There's another thing here which is, I don't know what it is. I think this is what flickers when you start the car, you know. As you guys notice on my headlights as well, it starts to flicker and flash and stuff like that. No idea. One thing I noticed is, I've seen a YouTube video before this. I can't remember, I think it was Vehicular DIY, I think, or some one of them. Can't remember, it was a while back. Before I even actually got a car, I was actually seeing the videos and stuff. And I noticed that on this side, where it's connected to the body, you don't need to change any wiring, but for the bonnet side, when you're from a pre-LCI converting it to a LCI, you gotta swap the pin around. I'm gonna double check later again, because to be honest I can't remember. I saw the video like a while back, so I'm gonna double check and make sure that I pin this thing all correctly, and I'll show you guys the install. I'm gonna do a time lapse, guys, so you guys don't get bored watching a 20-30 minutes video of me installing them. So let's get to it, guys. Alright guys, so this is the CSL type bonnet. Comes with a really nice rear spoiler as well. I really like it. It's original LCI though, but this part on top here is actually still fiber, as you guys can hear. Doesn't matter though, I don't really mind. I got it for really cheap, which is only 700 ringgit. That is really cheap actually for an original bonnet. As you guys can see here, it's ready LCI. Everything looks fine. Condition, well, the paintwork isn't great as the one that I still have now on the car, but it's fine though. I mean, I told him it's fine. I got it for very cheap anyways, hence why the price is actually cheap, which didn't really bother me, because I am still going to paint the car. I really have to paint the car anyways, since you know I've changed the bumper and the hood and everything, and I thought it would be the best time actually just to slap this on, and once everything is on, I can, you know, just send it for paint, which I wouldn't really paint for now, because I want to make sure that I get the transplant on before I start painting. I don't want to paint the car and send it to the workshop for weeks where all that dirt and dust and, you know, accidental scratches. I mean, obviously I know Mr. Lee will be doing the engine mounting and the gearbox, will be very extra careful with the car, but accidents happens, guys, and you know I don't want to put any blame on him, so it's better that I paint the car once everything is done. It will be much more better that way. I also got this is the full black BMW logo. I got this from Duke Motorsports. They were really nice, you know, they actually sent a grab to me on this part, and yep, it's a two-piece. So this is the logo emblem itself, comes with a double tape, and this is a piece where you actually mount to the hood and the trunk. I actually grind this part here because the one on this bumper, the trunk doesn't have that two hole where you slide it in, so I'm going to put a silicone, well, I'm not really going to use a double tape, you know, because anyone can just pry them. So I'm going to put a silicone windshield glass on the back and make sure that it's seated and flush on the trunk itself, and make sure that it really sticks to it. So yep, I'm going to make sure I'm going to do that. So time lapse guys. Hey guys, alright, so the first thing I did was I removed the negative battery terminal. That way that in case anything, I don't want to shut up to the body and stuff like that. So here I'm just removing all the connectors from the tail lights and stuff like that. As you can see, I've even removed the cover as well. And now I'm just trying to make sure that I get all the cables and the wires and the connectors from like the unlocking mechanism, the tail lights, the license plate lights and stuff like that. One thing I realized that it's really tight in there, and I wasn't sure how to actually remove all these parts, but I realized they are just all held by clips, so all you gotta do is actually just pry them out. For example, the LED lights for the license plate. So it would be much more easier to actually remove all the license plates and the LED license plates and all the unlocking mechanism first. All you have to do is make sure you just pry them out. As for the unlocking mechanism, there's a clip on the back where you gotta push it, where I'm showing you here, right? That's the part that you just push it and it just slides out, and that way you can remove all the connectors much more easier that way when it's out of the car. So now I'm just pulling out all the wirings and the connectors through this hole in from the trunk. But before that, I had to remove the tail light. As you can see here, that's the locking mechanism for the tail lights on the trunk. It's basically just unloosing the locking mechanism and you can just slide out the tail lights. So one thing I realized, pulling out all the wiring harness through that hole, yep, it's really hard because they are so big and thick that it got stuck in there. However, I actually managed to just like give it a really hard pull and it came out. Thankfully none of the connectors broke, so yeah. So I've already removed the trunk, as you can see, just basically 4 bolts. It's a 11 size bolt. And what I realized after removing the trunk was that getting the new trunk on, it was really heavy. It was probably because of the fiber and all, and as you can see, thanks to my mom, she kind of helped me carry it. I couldn't really carry it alone because I could, but having them aligned properly on both that angle on the arm was really a challenge, because both the left and right arm was individual, so it was keep moving while I'm trying to put it in. So it'll be much more easier with 2-person. So if you're gonna do this, make sure you have someone to help you out. So now I'm just removing the original tail lights from the body. They are held by 3 8mm bolt. 2 other bolts was really easy, but one of it was really tight at the end, which, yes, this one, the right one, that side was really deep into the car body, so you gotta make sure that you have a really good socket and a flexible socket joint that you can actually remove them. Now I'm taking out the other one. One thing I realized that on the right side, previous owner had one of the socket on 10mm at the end, and I didn't realize that after a while, and I realized why he did that was because having an 8mm socket on the side, he probably didn't have a joint or something. So what I did was I changed both on the left and the right to 10mm. So now I'm just checking all the wiring harness, making sure everything is okay, there's no cut to it and everything, and I'm sliding them all through the galley. So now I'm gonna show you guys that if you look closely, you got a repin for the body side on the bonnet, and you just pull out the cover and push in with a pick or something and pull out the wires if you're gonna deepin it and repin back. And now I'm just Tesa tape the whole wiring harness to make sure that it doesn't get shorted to the trunk or the body and stuff like that. I really like Tesa tape because it kind of keep the cables and the wires weatherproof, I guess. Keep them much more clean and stronger, robust, I guess. Okay, so now I'm just pulling all the cables back through the route. Make sure you don't go from the inside, you just go from the outside, and even the original one routes from the outside. Now just pulling all the wires for the LED lights for the license plate and the unlocking mechanism and stuff like that. Also, I actually swapped the locking mechanism from the old trunk to the new one, and I'm just bolting everything up. Also, I realized one difficult issue I had was to make sure having all the connectors plugged in. So before you actually plug in all the unlocking mechanism and the license plate LED, make sure you pull in the connectors first, and fixing the connector while it's outside of the car. That way you just have to push it in, because once the LED are in the car, it'll be really hard for you to access from inside the trunk and having the connectors plug in. So here I'm just mounting and double tape the ballast and everything to the car body so it doesn't move around when I drive. So here I realized that I'm double checking the wiring schematics on the forums, and I realized that some of the wirings diagram is not the same for all the E90s, and just because you have a pre-LCI, it's going to be the same with a post-LCI wiring diagram. It's actually different for certain cars. And what I did was I triple check and make sure to test it out and check with a voltage meter to make sure all the wirings and the power continuity was correct for all the taillights. Now I'm mounting as well for the taillights and the ballast and stuff like that, which was really hard because there was no space to actually mount the LED taillight ballast, so I just double taped them all on the LED lights itself. Now I'm going to install the tail lights on the trunk itself. So basically mounting the tail lights on the trunk is very simple. All you have to do is just push it in, and there will be one tab where it holds the whole light onto the body, and you just gotta make sure that you don't over tighten it, yeah guys. Never ever tighten it, because all these tail lights are actually in plastic material, so sometimes you feel like it's still, you know, soft, that you can actually tighten it much more, but do not, because they're plastic, and using a ratchet and stuff like that, you might over tighten it and break them apart. Same as for the trunk as well. I just realized that I over tighten it, which is why I'm actually untightening it back and making sure that I tighten it to the perfect torque. So now I'm just plugging back the negative terminal on the battery and making sure that all the wirings and the LEDs and the tail lights are working well accordingly, because I want to make sure when I actually adjust the wiring terminal, everything was properly. Now I'm just making sure all the wires and the cables in the trunk are more proper, and I'm putting back the cover as well. I realized that the E90 LCI cover were different, but you can just use the pre-LCI one, it fits perfectly. All the spots are the same as well. So I'm just making double sure the fitment and stuff like that on the hood and the trunk and stuff like that. So actually went out earlier and came back and got this silicone windshield gum, I guess. What I did was I made sure to put on a little bit on the new emblem logo, and that way it sticks much more proper, because I do not want to use a simple double tape where anyone can just pry it out. It doesn't really cost much, but 100 ringgit is still a lot of money to just have it missing like that. So now here, as you guys can see, what I did was I'm checking and testing all the lights. I'm going to show you guys. So these are the normal lights when you're on them. As you can see, don't worry about the flickering, it doesn't really happen in real life, just on camera I'm not so sure why. So I was testing to make sure there was no error code. The LED lights on the trunk is the fog light, and the right ones on the body is actually the braking lights, which is why I will actually mention in the video later what I'm gonna do, my plan is. So the LED signal works well as well, and I realized that having this aftermarket LED tail lights, you don't really need to do any coding on them, because they have a CAN bus decoder on the tail lights itself, the black box, if you guys realized earlier. So I don't really need to do any coding at all. Hey guys, so I'm back up. As you guys can see, I've tested the whole entire tail lights. Everything seems to be working well. I really like the design, but the only problem that I did not really like is the silver backplate of the signal lights. I really wish that it was black though, that area, because these are LEDs, so you don't really need any reflectors, to be honest, and a blackened out backplate will be much more nicer. I did get offered by Red Zone. Red Zone said that they could actually spray the rear part and blacken it, but yeah, I don't really want to tear apart the tail lights. It's brand new as well, so I said it's fine. I think I'll just smoke the tail lights. Everything works well. Only reason I never really did the reverse gear lights test is because I've actually changed them. I took out the original one, which is just a halogen bulb, so I got the LED ones, which is much more brighter. I want bright lights on the rear is because you want to make sure that people are aware from behind, right? And I didn't get like crazy bright ones that would actually blind people, you know. But I'm gonna smoke it as well, so once you smoke it, the luminescence from the light is not gonna be crazy bright as well. And I might do a mode where the rear fog light and the brake light are integrated together, so when I hit the brake lights, it's gonna light up both the brake lights and the fog light as well. If you realize from the trunk side and the body side, the brake light is on the body side, right? And the fog light is on the trunk side. The LEDs are actually aligned together, so it will look really good if you brake and the whole part just lights up. I mean, we're not really going to use a fog light here, guys. There's no fog in Malaysia, man, unless you're like in Genting or Cameron Highlands, but I've been there once every 10 years, so yeah, I'm just going to do that mode. I might want it as bright as possible for brake lights, for safety reason as well, guys, and I think that it will look really good. And I'm gonna smoke it as well, as I said, so you know, I want it as bright as possible. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching always, guys. I appreciate it so much. Do like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao, guys.